Good afternoon and welcome to l3lur Podcast. This is our introductional video. What we're going to be doing briefly is talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing on the channel, and then I will talk about what we're going to get into today, which is the Formula 1 driver market. Briefly, I'll just say that thank you for everyone who's already joined the community online. A lot of people have got involved. What we're going to be doing is weekly podcasts, usually on a Thursday, but probably Tuesday and Thursday. We're just going to be talking about all things motorsport. If you have anything you want us to discuss, drop it in our social media. All the links will be in the description of this video and be put on, in our other stuff. And thank you all those who already have got involved. So hopefully, it should be good. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, even with the coronavirus pandemic on at the moment, there's still quite a lot of motorsport to discuss. And there's always stuff. There's always something going on. There's always stuff, so happy days for that. So what we're going to be talking about today is the driver market. Obviously the first thing to address is the 2021 rules, which of course pushed back to 2022 with everything that's been going on. I think this is a great idea for many reasons, which I'll explain in a second. So let's talk about what we know so far. Let's start with the big teams. So Mercedes, obviously Lewis Hamilton staying. How long will he stay for? I'm thinking maybe 2 more years, 3 years. I mean, they're not going to stay dominant forever. Mercedes can never, they can't win forever. Proven with Ferrari and Red Bull could not win forever. Do I think Lewis Hamilton will join another team after Mercedes? No. I think he will retire with Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas, his contract runs out at the end of the season. Do I think he will stay at Mercedes? Yes, because big teams always play the safe game. I mean, Ferrari have kept Kimi Räikkönen on for a lot longer than I thought they would. Same with Felipe Massa when he was racing there. I think Valtteri Bottas, yes, he's had a chance to prove himself, and he's not entirely succeeded, but he is against one of the best F1 racers of all time. Even though I'm not a big fan of Hamilton, that is a true statement. You can't deny that. Do I think Valtteri Bottas will stay for at least one more season? Yes. I think Mercedes would want George Russell to get a couple of years in Formula 1 and then move him up. My logical idea would be, because he's part of the Mercedes program, sort of join him up in Mercedes for 2022 when the new rules come in, or next year. It's a tricky one. We don't even know what's going to happen with the rest of this season. But that's what I would do. Obviously, a lot of people are thinking they want Vettel to go to Mercedes. Yes, it'd be a great idea. Yes, everyone would be crazy happy, but you just can't put 2 big drivers like that in one team. Mercedes I don't even think would ever go for it, or would have the budget to pay for something like that. Yeah, okay, they have one of the biggest budgets in Formula 1, but I just don't see it happening. My logical head would put Ferrari into IndyCar, which they haven't raced since the 80s. I would put Vettel in a 2-car team with that, with maybe a driver currently in that championship, or another Ferrari Academy driver. I don't know. It's a tricky one. That's where I would put him. Or send him off to Le Mans. I don't see Vettel staying in Formula 1. He probably will stay in Formula 1, but he has announced he's leaving Ferrari. Will he go to... where would you put him? The only decent seat left is Renault, and that's not even that good. Renault have been failing to deliver promises for a couple of years. Yes, I'm wearing their gear now, but doesn't mean I can't spot their flaws. Ferrari then, obviously Sebastian Vettel's leaving. Carlos Sainz is joining the team alongside Charles Leclerc. Do I think that's a good driver pairing? Yes. Do I think Sainz and Leclerc can win races? Yes. Do I think they can challenge for the title? Not this year, maybe next year. Leclerc, maybe. Do I think Sainz could win the championship? Possibly. Do I think he's a good choice? Yes, but I'm also looking at a few other drivers that could have got that seat. I mean, everyone was queuing up. A lot of people were saying Nico Hulkenberg to get that seat. I do not agree with that. I think Nico Hulkenberg is a fantastic driver. Yes, he got a pole position and he's finished pretty well every season. But every time he's had the chance to go for a podium, he's always messed it up or something's happened. It's just, not meant to be. Some things aren't meant to be. He won Le Mans in 2015 for Porsche, so why doesn't he just return there? And the new rules are coming into Le Mans soon, so why not join a manufacturer for that and race for them? He could have a fantastic career with them. I mean, it's proven that a lot of drivers can have fantastic careers and not be in Formula 1. So why doesn't he just do that? Esteban Ocon is at Renault. Good choice. Will he stay there? Yes, for a couple of years. Who would they partner in? Maybe a driver in the Renault program, F2 driver. There's quite a few names. Maybe an existing Formula 1 driver. Who would I put there? Don't know. Bottas, maybe, if he wasn't staying at Mercedes. Could be an interesting one. Could they get podiums? Possibly. Red Bull Racing have got Max Verstappen and Alex Albon. I think that's a really good pairing. I really like both those drivers. Can they challenge for the title? No, because they don't have the car behind them. Maybe in a couple of years when the new rules come in, if Red Bull stick around. Will Red Bull stay? Maybe. Depends how well the first year of the new rules come in. I think that's quite big for a lot of Formula 1 teams to see how the new rules come in and how equal, and obviously budgets. The budget cap was announced. That's good. I support that. As much as it hurts Ferrari, I support it. But Ferrari agreed to it as well, which could be also signs that they are moving their programs to Formula E or IndyCar. Ferrari aren't going to stay in F1 forever. They will leave. Will they leave in my lifetime? Yeah, of course. They could leave in the next 5 years. They're not going to stay in F1 forever. Then we move over to McLaren. They lost Carlos Sainz, so they replaced him with Daniel Ricciardo. He's obviously partnering Lando Norris. That's a fantastic driver pairing. I really like the idea of that. They should be doing good. Could they get podiums? Yes. Again, tricky. The midfield is so competitive, and they're just not close enough to the three big teams. You know, they're at least a couple of seconds behind. So you really need to have some luck and some good races, but we saw last year that it's possible with McLaren and Toro Rosso both getting podiums. So you never know. We'll have to see. This season could be crazy. Next season could be crazy. 2022 could be very crazy. Let's hope. What else are we looking at? BWT, Racing Point, Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez. Do I think they'll both stay there? Maybe for another 2 years. Obviously Stroll's dad sort of owns the team, so he's not really going to go anywhere anytime soon unless he gets an offer from another team, which we just don't see. Got a podium with Williams, and he did alright. He's quite a good driver. I think he's slightly underrated because of the whole stuff with his dad in the background. I think he's quite a quick driver. That team sounds really exciting with Aston Martin. Obviously Aston Martin said they were going to race in Le Mans, but then they pulled out and they've moved to Formula 1 to become sort of an Aston Martin Works sort of team. Sort of. That'll be interesting how they look from next year and what they do in 2022, whether they become a full Works team or whether they just carry on with the sponsorship. We've seen manufacturers sponsor teams before with Lotus, Infinity sponsored Red Bull, so we'll have to see. We covered quite a few of those teams. Williams, I predicted this as of today. Williams considering Formula 1 team sale with £30 million loss, which makes sense. Also Rocket, their sponsor, has pulled out, so they're not looking too good. I actually predicted that they would leave Formula 1 in the next 2 years, and people are like, no, they'll never leave. Teams can't stay in Formula 1 forever. If you're always losing, you're not going to do anything. Williams took a massive hit last year. They lost their Martini sponsorship, and the car was so bad. It was so bad. One of the worst Formula 1 cars I've seen in the modern era. I mean, I would even... the only car I'd put worse than that is the HRT cars. Seriously, it's that bad. To be 2 or 3 seconds off the next team is just awful. Really bad. And I just knew as soon as that car brought out, I thought, it looks slow. And they're just not going to recover. It's a massive gamble. Now they have no title sponsor. The car this year looks sort of better. Whether or not it'll be much quicker is a different story. People think, oh yeah, they'll be back in the midfield. You just can't go from being 3 seconds, at the back of the grid to being in the midfield just like that. It doesn't happen in modern day Formula 1. You just can't do it. The driver lineup, very exciting. George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, their talents are wasted there. I'd like to see them in bigger teams. I could see Latifi going to a midfield team, maybe Racing Point, maybe McLaren, Renault possibly in the next couple of years, in the next year maybe. I could see George Russell hopefully going to Mercedes, but we'll have to see. Do I think Williams will stick around? No. Someone could buy the team, but the name will go. The name Williams will leave Formula 1 within the next year or two. I don't think they'll be around for the new rules. The team might still be there, but it won't be Williams Racing. It'll be something else. Who knows? It's sad, but they're not going to stay in Formula 1 forever. No one is. You can't just... if you're at the bottom of your game, you've had your wins, you've lost, it's just going to happen. We saw that with Sebastian Vettel. He didn't stay at Red Bull after he went downhill. Fernando Alonso and Jensen Button both left Formula 1 because they've gone down. It's just how it is. It's just how it works. It's a seesaw. It's a seesaw game. They have announced they've got a new livery in the bag, so maybe they do have some more sponsors, but I don't think it'll change too much. Hopefully they'll go to like a classic look. Maybe that would be nice, a bit retro. AlphaTauri, the new sort of team, taking over Toro Rosso, basically the same team, same place, different Red Bull sponsor really. Car looks really good. Do I think it'll do well? Maybe. Their drivers, Daniel Kvyat and Pierre Gasly, good ideas. I'd keep them on for a couple of seasons. I actually like them. Daniel Kvyat is a great driver, I think. Underrated. Yeah, okay, made mistakes, but who doesn't? The Red Bull program is very unforgiving, I've noticed. Same with Pierre Gasly, but both of them redemption day, redeemed themselves last year. 2 podiums, brilliant. Toro Rosso, one of the best seasons they've ever had, apart from 2008. So, and they've now had a couple of podiums. I think Toro Rosso could be good. I think, well, AlphaTauri could be up there. Could be up there with McLaren, leading the midfield. It's close. It is close. So they'd probably stay. Maybe they'd probably stay for another 2 years. I don't know. Maybe the program is quite quick with drivers, so I could see them maybe staying there. Maybe both of them racing in Le Mans or IndyCar. I could see Kvyat more intrigued to go to Le Mans and Pierre Gasly to go to IndyCar maybe, but yeah, I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. The team looks good. I do like their team wear as well. Any teams I've not covered yet? I think I've covered most of them. Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Williams, Renault, McLaren, Racing Point. Yeah, I think I've covered everyone. Unless I'm just being silly. That's pretty much everyone, isn't it? Yeah, not a lot of changes in terms of the rules for next year. So, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they told the teams to save money and run B-spec cars for next year. Let's say to everyone, run B-spec cars, basically run the same cars you did this year, but with upgraded parts on it. Basically the same car. Then you don't have to build a new car and you can focus more on the 2022 rule changes, which will be very exciting. Hopefully it'll mix up the grid a little bit, I don't know. And hopefully it'll attract more teams. I don't know. If it's cheaper, then yeah, hopefully. Formula 1 are doing everything they can now to keep their budgets low and to attract more people. A lot of the big championships now are struggling to get manufacturers, and this year and the next year or so is going to really affect people, with people not earning money. So yeah, it'll be a tricky one. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. I think it'll be a good couple of years. We'll have to see how 2022 onwards goes. A bit disappointed that it's moved back. And one of the things I was going to say before was why it's good that it's moved is because if you were joining a new team, so this is like a silly season, everyone's changing teams. I would prefer to join a team and have a year using the regs that are currently being used to get used to the team, to get used to how they make the cars, so they can get used to your driving style and build a new car around you. I would like to get, a year under the belt. Everything's nice and relaxed, there's nothing stressful, no one's going crazy. And then when you've embedded yourself in the team a bit more, you've got a year under your belt, everyone's happy, you can then move to developing a new car, and that'll hopefully suit your drivers and the rules better, and you might end up better rather than just jumping in a new car straight away and then sinking to the bottom of the grid because you're not used to it, or they don't build anything decent. So I think the new rules going back a year is good with all these driver changes. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it should be good. We'll have to see, I don't know. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's basically what we're going to do on the channel, just have a little debate about motorsports. I'll probably be covering pretty much everything. As you'll know, I'm not the biggest fan of Formula 1, but I will try and cover it as much as possible because it's the mainstream sport. And yeah, fingers crossed we'll get some racing again soon. Obviously NASCAR has already started again, so hopefully we can get some stuff. I would like to see British racing return and Formula 1 return. So thank you very much. If you've got any questions or anything you want us to discuss, please drop it in our social media. Thanks guys, bye.